I love how I have like 130 ships training and I still have oil for them. That's actually quite impressive. King Edward abdicates. Prime Minister Baldwin has made it quite clear that the dignity of the King Emperor will be impinged if you were to marry not just a commoner, but also a divorcee, and, if that was not bad enough, an American. After much soul-searching, His Majesty has chosen love over duty and has chosen to abdicate. His younger brother, Albert, will assume the mantle as King George VI. London bookmakers are already taking odds on to whether the shy man will make it to his own coronation. I suspect he probably will. Chucky DM and Mucht Politic, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. And we have actually basically finished all of that infrastructure. So I'm actually going to build a couple of dockyards now. And then once those are done, we'll carry on with the infrastructure. And any place where there's a level 7. Which is all of you. Carry on. Just came online, was gifted a sub, thanks for that. Yes, Mass, what's his name? Mastro did it earlier. Heavy cruisers are basically done. So we'll send those off.
Ready, sir! Listen up!
Meanwhile, these units are all training. And this is getting us some army experience. Not admittedly a huge amount, but at least some. We do have a rather large deficit of guns, which I would like to overcome if I can. Let's reduce the amount of artillery we're producing, just get some more guns out. Mechanical computing finished. These are 1938 technology, so we cannot get those. I don't think we need oil refineries. We definitely don't need those. Those are all 39s. We could start working on some of the specialist stuff, especially Navy focus. No, you know what we need? Naval Doctrine. We need the convoy sailing. Heavy tank destroyers are about to be finished. Alright, next. Let's go for air doctrines. We're going to go for battlefield support. And we are going to start building some heavy tank destroyers. And we're going to have them as a fairly high priority. We have all the resources we need for them. And then the next thing we're going to do is take a look at our infantry divisions. Oh, this costs a lot less to add. That's good. And yeah, you can see heavy tank destroyers only require 20 tanks as opposed to 40. So it's a much cheaper thing to add. And you still get all of the armor, which is why you add them in the first place. Can I please take a look at the Road to 56 trees in China and the PRC? Hey, Viking. Yes, I can do that. I don't remember very well what the base ones look like. I think I played as Japan once and China once, and that was it. There definitely seems to be a lot more to them. And then the PRC. I do not remember how this compares at all. Are you sure that this isn't vanilla? Because they have the same thing as Britain, this one. Do they have one which does the same? Collaborate with the collaborators. Right, any more ships ready? Yes, a couple. Probably is easier to go through and remove any ships which are still in training. Wait, is it possible to go higher than I've been going? No, I don't think so. A couple of ships have 3%. Yeah, it's just 3%. It seems to be bugging out at that point. That's fine. I'm actually astonished with how quickly we're training, like, the entire Royal Navy. It's quite impressive, really. And this is it, the end. And then we'll need to think about refits. Speaking of which, we are, I think, actually ready to start seriously considering how to refit these things. Okay, so we have a lot of clearing up to do. So let's do that first. Converted carriers we can get rid of. Unupgraded light cruisers we can get rid of. Likewise here. Get rid of the tier 1 destroyer. No, we can't. Because this tier 1 destroyer is what we're going to have to upgrade a bunch of the regular, or the other destroyers from the VWs. So let me think about this for a moment. Do we want to have the old destroyers in an escort capacity and then the new destroyers with the fleet? I think so. So if we take you, open up your design. We're going to make these... we need a name. These are going to be called the Martin class. The Martin E. And their job is going to be anti-submarine warfare with depth charges. It's going to be no torpedoes. Tier 1 engine. Anti-submarine warfare. Not in that slot. In this slot. Which unfortunately does make them a fair bit more expensive. But this is all they need to function as a anti-submarine warfare vessel. Which are the escorts. So all of the tier 1 destroyers are going to be upgraded to escort duty. And thankfully they are automatically given all of the maxed out dockyards, so that will do. Spain is having their civil war. I'm democratic, so I probably can't get involved. Although this will raise world tension. A civil war has erupted in Spain. Several generals seeking to overthrow the current government in Madrid have issued a pronunciamiento, and a large portion of the Spanish armed forces have answered their call to arms. This right-wing nationalist faction has occupied much of Spain, including the overseas territories. Loyalist forces and volunteers have assembled under the left-wing Republican Guard. Government, even. Although they probably have formed a Republican Guard. Determined to resist the putsch in their last breath, the battle for Spain has begun. And there's a whole bunch of destroyers here. These are the ABCs, not the VWs. And these are going to be upgraded in the same way. I'm just going to wait for them to be trained. We have a heavy tank destroyer. Huzzah! Our great plans can be put in motion. Wow, how's the army training? It's getting there.
Attention!
We're still extremely low on guns. Oh, whoops. The other thing I meant to do was give refuge to the Italian scientists. Like so. Service overseas is almost finished. Boom. Don't think I want a motorized army just yet. I think it's time to encourage the colonial elite. Our vast, sprawling empire houses some of the greatest minds of the world, but its size prevents many of them from ever meeting. By encouraging them to work together on our most important projects, we can achieve results faster. Achieve those results much faster, please. Norway is a focus I know Mordred will salivate over. Nautis ship production incentives, combined with the King's Path, can switch them from a naval power to a naval juggernaut. Ooh, interesting. Naval Federation, possibly? Possibly. I kind of fancy playing with puppets again. Because I haven't done that for a while. Wait, is that a tier 3 ship? Tier 2. Fair enough. Oh, bloody hell. Where's that almost dead submarine? There it is. Go repair, you nutter. And I'm also going to start training aircraft. Something like that. Games of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games has recently been held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have been enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. So it's normal for the submarine to be leaking, yes? Shy, you want access to Gibraltar? No. And actually, my having troops here is forcing the nationalists to actually fortify these borders. So, you're welcome. September 36. One thing I would like is to have active sonar research. Maybe not necessarily for the tier 1 destroyers, but for tier 2s we would certainly like to have that. Rota 56 makes the 4 basic ideologies have more to them. Like, I can't really explain it, so if you take a quick look over the democratic next election window, I think it gives US Democratic a lot of post-war debuffs for taking land, making it really hard to acquire land. Annex cost plus 50, take states cost plus 25. Oh, I see. Okay. So we should be liberating, not taking. Fair. Aha! Some more upgrades. Finished. Marvellous. By some, I mean, good grief, that's a lot. Just in time. Otherwise we would run out of oil. I love how there's only 56 ships left. Our program of training the British crews has gone on incredibly quickly. And how's the refitting coming along? It's pretty quick. Marines won. Excellent. Let's go and get field hospitals while we can. We are researching stuff exceptionally quickly. Commonwealth ties, then we can build up their industry nice and early as well. United by common allegiance to the Crown, the nations of the British Commonwealth are the first we can count on in the event of another global conflict. Securing our diplomatic administration there will be of the essence.
Commands! All in!
Belgium renounces two French protection. After a heated debate, the Belgian government has decided it will apply for a strictly neutral stance and protects. After a heated debate, the Belgian government decided that it will apply for now a strictly neutral stance and protects all of the borders equally. This decision was made partly due to support the Flemish nationalists who viewed these guarantees and the French influence on the military as a scandalous involvement in a foreign government in our internal affairs. Right, that's them protesting to the French building fortifications on their borders?
Orders!
I guess? One of my personal favourite changes is the renaming of non-aligned to authoritarianism. That's a pretty good change. Hey, Hugo Slayer. Ooh. No. Three. Everything except for 3 ships upgraded. Most impressive. Not refitted, but retrained. And there's active sonar, which is going to allow me to retrain the Tier 2 destroyers. Oh, you're not done. Which is going to be all of you lot. Oh, here's a couple more Tier 1s. Okay, so you are going to drop that. We're going to add Tier 2 sonar. And that's it. And you shall be called... Brownell. Screen. The Brownell S. And all the Tier 2s are going to be upgraded to the Brownell S class. Right, then one other change I need to make is to change the classification of those ships. So the Martini is an escort. It is going to be crab. And then the Brownell S is going to be a shield. Correct. Huzzah! Depth charges? Depth charges. We can even make it slightly cheaper. Do it. Astronauts, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Welcome to the channel. And thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate that. And Evolvition. Evolvetion? Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for the follow. That name is weirdly hard to say, and I have no idea why I was struggling so much. Butter Cheese. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Alright, let's go and get dive bombing. And all of you are now done. Magnifique. That's an S-class, that should become a Martin E. In fact, all of the Martin E's, we're going to split you out and we're going to put you into a new fleet. This is my escort fleet. And we shall assign people accordingly in a bit. Then I have a feeling that we're going to need to build a bunch of S-class submarines as well. Sorry, S-class screens, not submarines. S-class subs are actually pretty decent. What about these? They have one fewer torpedo, but that's okay. So the submarines can all combine. The OPRs could upgrade to S-class. How much would that cost? 124 production. I don't think that's really worth it. Not what I meant. That's what I meant. Chinese Soviet Republic declared war on Shibai Sanma. Right, the other one I need to split out is the mine layer. Put you at the bottom so I can see who's who. Alright, so these are the escorts. Let's go and give you the escort symbol, which is that one. These are submarines. Let's give you the submarine symbol, which is that one. Also, you should be in red. This is the mine layer. We should have the mine layer. And then this is everyone else, which doesn't need a symbol just yet. What's the difference between the Danae class and the C class? And the Emerald class? Good grief, there's a lot of them. Alright, so C-class is the fastest. It's got decent light attack. The Emerald class is actually the best light attack. Surface visibility, they all have the same. Surface detection, sorry, detection's what I want. They all have the same. They have no submarine detection at all. They all have armor. So this is purely down to the amount of guns and torpedoes they have. So the C-class are kind of rubbish. The Danae and the Emeralds are both pretty good. Especially the Emeralds. I might just upgrade them all to Emerald class. No, I'm not going to. We're going to upgrade the C class. Yeah, we're going to upgrade the C class to be recon ships. So we're going to need to get advanced recon float planes before we do that. So we'll just leave them as is. What class ship did you get, Colonial? Carrier. It was in one of the America plays. Communist, maybe? It was right at the end. Commonwealth ties, done. Canada gets 2, 3, 4, 5. South Africa gets 5. Australia gets 5. Okay, let's go develop Canada first. No, let's develop South Africa, because they're going to be the most heavily involved, probably, in the fighting due to the war in Africa. The political situation in South Africa is uncertain. We cannot fully trust that they will support our war effort, but by aiding them in strengthening their industry, we can hope to increase the support for the British cause. Also, we seem to have a lot of political power. None of these are particularly useful to me. You were suggesting melting pot, which I am actually in favour of. I think this is a great idea. We'll go ahead and spend on that. Then I want to save up for individual rights, because that's going to boost our stability right up. Although our stability right now is pretty decent. Secular institutions, we could get even more research. Power in politics is a drop of stability for political power, which I don't think is particularly useful. Justify war goal time is absolutely not useful. War support for neutrality, no. Lose political power, gain reduce. No, we're definitely going secular institutions, 100%. Although not necessarily immediately. Enforced patriarchy would let me get more production. I'd feel so dirty taking this, though. And the thing is, I don't massively need manpower. Organization and lease tension limit. Send volunteers, tension limit. That one could be useful. Division attack and core, not so much. Lessons of history. Reduction in attrition and max entrenchment could be good. Or we need to start working on production. Like try and get our industrial concern up and running. Naval armor research. Naval armor research. Oh, naval armor, as in these, but there's only 5 of them, so it's not really worth it. Dockyard construction speed plus 15%. Parsons Peebles Engineering Works could be really good for us. Oh, I do like that idea.